So after publishing some papers, I mean, you have to present something, and I will talk about how you can present your papers more effectively. So these are the items that I will talk about today. For example, first topic will be the understanding conference format. Writing a conference proposal, already Professor mentioned, but I will give it only one slide. Preparation for a presentation. What are the presentation considerations we will talk about, and what presentation tools we can use to present our studies, and oral presentation skills, and handling the questions. So we have two types of communication actually, written and oral. So now let's look at how the oral communication you can make it properly. So the understanding the conference format is important because we have 4 different types of conference formats. It may be concurrent paper presentation, symposium, roundtable, and poster session. Paper presentation means you will present your paper orally. Okay, you will prepare, for example, using some presentation tools like PowerPoint to support your presentation. And symposium is more thematical discussion of your study, like we have today. And roundtable is another format for conference. For example, you sit on a table, and it is like interactive discussion with the groups. You will put a paper on the table and you are discussing. It's another type of conference format. And another format is the poster session. So you can prepare your own poster, and it's not like the oral paper presentation actually, because for the oral paper presentations, you have time limited. For example, in this conference, you have only 13 minutes. You cannot exceed that time duration. But for poster session, it's not that restricted. Actually, they give 1 or 2 hours. So you stand by your poster, and you have to be ready for summarizing your studies and for questions. So how we will write conference proposal, you already know how to write it, but look at it. You have to follow the guidelines. So, for example, for this conference format to apply it, you have a format, you have to use that format. For example, is it A4 paper, or is it single column or 2 columns, or you have to check the font that you are using. Whatever it is, you have to follow that format. And you have to put the content, and you have to put the content clearly. You have to use proper title for it, and you have to write a clear abstract so people can understand before reading your study what your topic is about. And of course, if you are planning to submit it to a conference, you have to follow the you have to follow the deadline. So avoid submitting your papers until the last day of the deadline. So the conference, to prepare the conference, first you have to distill your paper into a talk. Whatever you write in your study, you have to present it. So you don't need to say everything you write on in your paper, okay? So what are the key points you have to decide first and put it in your talk. And you have to prepare supplemental materials. For example, you can just talk, and it may be enough if you don't have any data or experimental results, but you need to better use some presentation tools to support your presentations. Okay. And for oral presentation, we have limited time, and you have to check every time if you are okay with the time. So you can use watch, or you can follow up the time. Okay. So if you exceed the time, so it may be unrespectful to the other audiences and presenters. So another basic presentation considerations are you have to define your message and know your audience, and you get prepared. So how we will define our message? You have to first plan to summarize your key points. Okay, so you have to first determine what the authors have to know about your study. Okay, so the audience will listen your study, and you have to check which points they should have to know during your presentation. You have to emphasize the significance of your work, and please don't give the details of literature, which you will write in the introduction part, that you will give more details for the literature part. You don't need to give that literature survey while you are presenting. So knowing your audience is also important. You have to check if it is specialized conference or general conference. If it is specialized, it means that the professors or the other audiences will know the basics of the studies. So you have to get rid of some theoretical parts or the important parts, because the audience already knows it. If it is general conference, then you can, if it is general conference, then it means that the other audience comes from sub-disciplines, may be the audience. So you should better to give some background for more general audiences. So in preparing, you have to rehearse your talk to fit slightly under the allotted time. So it may be sometimes better to repeat or to present your study before the day comes to your family or to your friends. So to check what will be the time duration of your presentation. And maybe you made some studies with a group, so you have to check or plan in advance who will discuss which components of the talk and which parts, who will talk first and things like that. If you are a group, so you have to discuss it before the presentation date. So using PowerPoint effectively, so you may not use PowerPoint. Actually, you can use other presentation tools. So I think there is some other presentation tools like Prezi. Have you ever heard about this presentation tool, Prezi? It's so famous. So you can use other presentation tools, of course, but whatever you are using, you have to know it perfectly. For example, organizing the presentation, you have to use or put the outline for your, before it may be the first or the second present slides, you should give the old outline. So what you will talk about, the audience can learn before listening to you. So addressing the key parts of the paper, but you don't, please be careful not to duplicate your sentences, your works. And the other important thing is after the presentation, you have to make the audience to read your paper. So they will wonder the details and go back to your paper and read it. So it's another important thing. So planning for the time. Let's just try to prepare your slides. About 1 slide per minute of time is okay. For example, if you're 13 minutes, 13 to 16 slides will be okay. And the numbers of the slides are important. If you are very limited, if you have a very limited time, if it is many of slides, so you will be unable to get through them all, and you have to sometimes skip some of the slides. So the audience may not understand the key points of your studies. If it is too few, for example, you have 30 minutes and you have 3 slides, so the audience will get bored having the two with the same slides. Okay. So focusing on key points, how we will do it. First of all, in each slide you have to put one idea. Okay. You don't need to put all the key points into one slide. Some key points you can put, and please avoid blocks of text. My students always do it. They don't want to memorize or think of what they will say at that moment, because it's so panic time. So they just want to read whatever it is written. Don't do it, okay? So you have to write some things, but it has to be readable, so the audience can read it, and everything that you put on the slide has to be accurate. So if you almost prepared your presentation, but try to use 24 punto, so it is more convenient to see, that the audience can see the puntos very clearly. Use that font is the preferred. I think I'm not using that font at that time, so it's not a must. You can contrast some colors, highlight some or underline some important words. And I use these animations and transitions for this slide, so you can use animations but not that much, so the audience cannot confuse whatever the words come from here or from there, like that. So try to use the animations few. And of course, we are not native speaker, you have to check spell check. So proofreading is important. You have to check if the grammar or the spelling is accurate or not. So using visuals is important in your presentation. So if you have just finished the experiment, you have some data to show us, so better to use sentences or to put it in a sentence. To show it in visual format is much better. You can use graphs, maybe small video or any picture you can share. Okay. So oral presentation skills are important, talking to the audience, being professional, handling questions and Q&A sessions. So how we will talk to the audience? You should adopt a conversational tone so everyone can understand us. Do not read from the slides, okay? And if you don't remember, so some of the students are laughing, so forget today, okay? Later you will present like this, okay? So if you don't remember what you will say at that moment, you can use notes, okay? Or you can print your PowerPoint slides in your hand, so you can make up your sentences at that moment more easily. Using notes is it's okay also. And make eye contact with the audience. Okay, speak clearly and loud enough for all want to hear. So I'm using this microphone, I don't need to be loud. So how can we be professional? What does this mean? So dressing appropriately. Try to stay calm even you are so scared, you are panicked. Don't show it maintain and be aware of the time. Stay flexible. So the scary part is the handling questions. Okay. So you finished whatever you will present and Q&A session has just started. So while you are presenting, you can use questions to the audience for further engagement with the audience. For example, you can ask to the audience if it is to take their opinion as well, okay, during your presentation. Generally try to keep answers brief and on topic. And if some of the questions is asked that you don't know, then admit that you don't know that question or the answer. Okay, so it's very important admitting that you don't know that answer. Okay, so if someone is challenged or attacked you while you are presenting, try to answer it in a short way and don't go back and move on with your slides. Okay, don't just stop, just move on your slides, move on your presentation. And after your presentation, take time after the session. For example, it's just finished and there are some audience that they want to ask a question, but because of the limited time they don't. So you can answer those questions after during the breaks or after your presentation. Maybe you can have business card, even you're a grad student, you can have business card as well, or give your email information to the audiences so they can contact you. Okay, if you want to contact me, it's my mail address, and if you have any questions, it's welcome.